Hello, welcome back to Ghosthunter. Today we are going to take care of Captain Kraken. So let us figure out how to wake him up first of all. That's not going to do it. That pea shooter? Nah, we'll need something a little louder than that. So let's move on and see what we can do. I kind of like him just lounging there. It's a decent bit of foreshadowing to the creature itself. Now that we're actually seeing it. Foreshadowing for the fight is what I meant, and not for the creature, of course. So, let's head down here and see what we can do to wake him up. This is an interesting kind of a pseudo-mechanic where these, as you can see here, in a few minutes, or seconds really, these tentacles grab these guys and all of a sudden now the tentacles are armed. So we kind of need to be careful around there to avoid those guys hitting us. Oh, well I think now he's been swallowed, so I think we're fine. So let's move on. I quite like this part with like the infighting with all the enemies now, with like the people who are now on your side fighting off the tentacles as best they can, although still not as effectively as they could be because they're kind of imbeciles. I mean, so are we, but we're controlled by a god, so with the whole player character situation, so there we go. So this looks interesting. It also looks fairly loud. Already it's fairly loud, so let's see what we can do here. Oh, avoiding grenading these two, because we don't want to do that. They're helping. The engineer. Yeah, what we need to do here is awaken the three engineers, free them, and then they start the engines. If that's not loud, I don't know what will be. The engineers are pretty much invulnerable, you don't need to worry about them at all. When they're released, that's pretty much it. And there's the two turbines in this engine room started. So let's move on. While avoiding that bulleting from the, well, shootings of bullets from the tentacles anyway. And you may recognise these mysterious doors which are now opening to us. Yep, we're back up here now. I told you this would be important, and it is. This is the second section of the underground, going around waking up all the engines. The checkpoint coming up in this area is fittingly called the Beast Awakens. I kind of like the sort of double entendre there, considering the ship itself could be considered a beast at this point, considering the ship itself is a ghost. Probably reading too much into it, but that's kind of a hobby of mine anyway, so there we go. Just checking down here to see if there's anything over here, and there isn't, but you never know when the game's going to hide ammo somewhere you can't quite see. So let's move on to these weirdly automatic doors. Let's down these ladders. I do like the music here, it's really, I like the horns and everything. I mentioned this last time, but they're good. And here's an astral mark and a pool of water. We remember this pattern, don't we? When Lazarus finishes doing the Michael Jackson lean. There we go. Yeah, that's one of the major things dragging this game down, is the loading when you're getting into astral is ridiculous. Other things we'll see later, but for now, that's the main thing you probably noticed by now, is astral takes forever to load sometimes. So under here, we have more engine turbines. So let's see where we can find the engineer. I quite like this room because it's big and sprawling, but not too big. It's big enough to make you know that this is the main engine room, but not big enough to be overwhelming to navigate, to find this guy who's just like in the corner. Let's just watch him. I quite like watching these guys work, which is why I'm following this guy around as he turns on all these turbines, because it's just kind of something I like to see, like the flavour in games. Like see people go about their jobs, that kind of thing. I find it kind of neat in its own way. There we go. So also it helps increase the build up as well to the actual situation we're starting up here. I quite like watching these things go around as well, these pistons. The music as Astral's pretty nice and tranquil as well, so it's nice to be able to chill out with it before heading back to the heavy bass and thumping of Lazarus Jones. go. One more. And that's the primary engine turned on. So let's return to Lazarus. Head across that pool and see what's in the next room. Oh, the other half of this room now, where we couldn't get before. This is where all the tentacles were attacking the body of Freddy Fortescue when we were escorting him through this area. I use the scope very loosely, but now we can go up this ladder and see what this thing leads to. This door up here. Quite like how heavy the doors sound. The Foley work in this game is generally pretty well done, except for the patheticness of the grenades. Everything else seems fairly fine. The shotgun feels decently satisfying to fire. Well, actually, generally the guns tend to be a bit dead, and this is kind of weird. We've just found the dagger of Poseidon that was last seen lodged in the guy's belly. What the hell? Here I'm cutting out me saving it, because we don't need to see that.
He's not beaten yet, you damn fool! Jones! The phrase discretion is the best part of valor comes to mind. A tactical withdrawal, man! A tactical withdrawal!
This tactical enough for you? Fortescue? You in here, Fortescue? Colonel? Doesn't feel like much of a trap to me.
And here's the beginning of the boss fight. At this point it pretty much just survived because we don't have what we need to defeat him yet. As you saw downstairs, he ignores the pea shooter entirely. So for now we just need to survive a few seconds until the plan comes into motion. And there's our plan. A tank. This boss is fairly annoying to fight because generally you have to stay under these balconies. That's the safest place to be because he has these attacks that can do a lot of damage, but they can only really hit you if you're out in the open. His general claw swipes and stuff are kind of pathetic. They only do like a few damage, but his most dangerous attacks are these beams he'll fire from the upper tentacles. So we don't want to be anywhere near that. Here's what we need to do. We need to shoot the shell and then capture the soul. Which is really annoying to do because the shell's really hard to see inside his body, and the soul is really hard to see outside his body because his body is always getting in its way. The soul is always in the same basic area though, and I realised that here it becomes much easier to actually find the stupid thing. They'll always have the same kind of pattern as well. They'll always float upwards, straight to the ceiling, which makes it easy to get a good beat on them early on. And then they'll start kind of floating around the room a little bit until you actually capture them. But we don't want to allow that to happen, so let's quickly grab him as he's starting to wander off. Because this boss can take a very long time if you lose these guys, because it's like, now then you have to find them, and then you have to, then go back into him, and you have to shoot another shell, which is impossible to see in the bloody body. There's a bit of a tell, which is when the shell goes to a certain point in the beast's stomach, it actually enters his mouth and becomes fairly visible, and that's the easiest time to actually spot it. But it's also dangerous because he'll do an attack with it, or at least like because of how close his face is to you compared to everything else. That will happen, and you'll take a lot of damage from the shell itself. Most of the damage I take in this fight tends to come from the splashback from the shell, honestly, or getting out in the open too much and getting hit by his beams. This fight is a fairly repetitive one, not the best boss, and not the most interesting boss, but it's certainly got its own thing going for it, so I'll give it that. It's a pretty standard Nintendo boss, really. Do a thing 3 times and win. So let's do that, and win. Should be about it now, there we go. Oh, we've got one more. Miscounted, that was skipping on me, but there we go. So let's shoot this final shell. Yeah, I'm just kind of wildly flailing at him with the gun because it's the easiest way to actually hit the damn shell. It's so difficult to see that thing in now, it's ridiculous.
Capture the soul! Capture the soul!
And I'm just trying to find where this last. There it is. Blending in rather nicely with the yellow windows, the bloody bastard. Yeah, this is, in my opinion, one of the least fun boss fights. It's just not particularly interesting. It's very hard to see what's going on, like to see the weak spots and everything like that, the souls and the tank shell. It's just kind of feels a bit over-designed because everything's kind of blending together. If some aspects of it were a little bigger, like the souls themselves were a little more solid, but it's not.
This blighter's mine, if you don't mind. I'll do the honors. Blimey, never won a battle before. Well, no point in kicking our heels around here anymore. Chance to meet all the Fortescue ancestors. If you don't mind giving us the old heave-ho, Jones. That's an order, sir.
Whatever.
Then, attention!
Go on, Taff. Let us off this shit, for God's sake.
Actually, one last thing.
That's the ship dealt with. Let's see what's next on our plate.
Got another gateway open for me, bud?
Most certainly. May I say your...
Save your energy, pal. I'm on a roll. Check out that array. Catch you later.
I think it's probably one of my favourite transitions, though. It's just kind of amusingly abrupt, just...
It is almost time. Is everything prepared?
Oh, yeah. Prepared.
As it should be. Everything must go according to plan.
Oh, yeah. We are prepared. Oh, yeah.
Very well. They say good conversation is a dying art.
And here we are at the next level. Interesting looking, and happily it gives us a bit of health because we had some trouble with the previous boss. So, we will see you next time as we start to explore this fairly forbidding looking building. Seems like some kind of prison. Well, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.